Okay, how do I communicate this stuff? How do I create a way to help someone understand this project? Both the big picture of what we want the project to accomplish, as well as the smaller scale pictures and details of how is this vision going to be brought about.
Mhm.
So I think of the big picture pretty simply. In fact, if I just pull up a PowerPoint, I'll use that to just kind of draw out a very simple idea. And we could start with something like this. I like to start with the people involved and just draw out a diagram here of, well, we have students, right?
Yeah.
And these students, let me use a different kind of shape, maybe something like this. Oh, that didn't work. Gotta do that again. Okay. These students have, I'm going to call it a portfolio. They
Okay.
have experience and work that they need to be able to demonstrate
Mhm.
in order to get themselves hired, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to let these students kind of, I'm going to put this portfolio right here.
Mhm.
And then who are they trying to connect up with?
Recruiters, I guess.
Okay. And this is where we can start to say, okay, this is our simple model. This is the simplest format of what I can think of.
Yep.
Okay. Students and portfolios and recruiters, and we're trying to get those to connect better than they have before.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as we build this model out, there's different shapes and sizes and varieties of these. Right? We've got recruiters that are going to hire, that are going to go out there and you're going to interface with to get hired, right?
Yeah.
But after the recruiter is gone, who are you going to be working with?
The development team, kind of like in-house IT.
I'm going to call them an IT team of some shape, size, or variety, right? Um, and then there's even some other groups over here on this side that are people like your customers, or your
Yeah.
clients, whoever it is that you're servicing or helping or supporting.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Also, over here on the student side,
The
you've
professor.
got different types of students. Right
Oh,
now, that, okay, right now we've got, I'm going to call them student volunteers.
mhm.
Okay. And we've also got student employees right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have I shared anything with you that has surprised you yet
Uh, no.
or that you didn't know?
No.
Pretty simple, but I think we've got to start at this level to help people understand just the big picture and then start to step down into the layers and layers and layers of this, right?
Yeah.
I would put these kind of this way. Isn't it interesting how the two kind of align with each other?
Yeah. Student
That
volunteers.
student employees are the ones that are probably best prepared to become a part of an IT team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Student volunteers are going to have a successful interaction with a recruiter,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not quite as ready to be on part of the IT team yet.
Yeah.
uh, and then student users, they're still putting themselves in the boat of a customer. They're still kind of outsiders to this whole IT world,
Yeah.
but at least it's something. We're providing value to these users, hopefully.
That they become volunteers.
Yeah,
Oh,
hopefully we're going to try and move them up this stage, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Up these stages. And all of the time that we're doing this, we want to be able to capture the experience in ways that allow that portfolio to tell the story.
Yep.
And even when you leave here, I think a sign of success for this project would be that when people leave here, they would continue to use this system, either for their own purposes, if they're continuing to try and level up and move themselves from an entry-level employee to a higher-level employee in the IT team. If they're trying to level up, maybe they'd still use that kind of portfolio to show their work and capture their work and tell their story. Or as an IT team person, maybe they might start using this system to help see into who they want to hire over here.
Mm-hmm.
So the stronger we make any and all of these paths, the better off our system is really functioning. You know, those can be signals or signs of success.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty simple big picture.
I was going
I
to say
don't,
it's not complicated at all. It's just
yeah, but and I think we can start just with something like this. But I would say let's take this and start telling the story to other people. And as we tell that story, watch how they receive it. Think about, you know, every time I tell this story, I think it gets a little clearer.
mm-hmm.
Because I have to simplify. I'm trying to tell the story as quickly and as efficiently as I possibly can. And as I force myself into that bucket, every time I retell it, I find a better way to retell it.
Yeah.
There's a technique in the extreme programming world that I really like. They call it a system metaphor. So if we can come up with a metaphor or a concept, it's kind of like a parable. You know how the Savior taught in parables?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If we can come up with a story or a parable or a metaphor that helps resonate for us and for all the people that we're interacting with, the better our story becomes, the better our recruiting becomes, the better a lot of things become.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of the art and science and craft of a systems, what do they call it, a systems analyst or a business analyst. It's their role to understand the business and the interactions that make it all work. And it's their job to help tell that story to people in ways that we can now take technology and start to amplify that story, make that story work even better than it did before.
Yeah.
So I'd experiment with stuff like this. I'd start out with the big picture, or we can go down to the weeds. If we go down to the weeds, I'd go back to
Spreadsheet.
this, and I'd say, you know, this is the weeds. We can click around in this. We can go look at the GitHub repos, see the code, see what they're designing on the front end and on the back end. We can see the Google Cloud consoles and see how, you know, what's going on inside those.
Mm-hmm.
That's the detail stuff. And I'm happy to start out at any level or layer of this, but we need to start separating out these different levels and layers and creating stories and visualizations and metaphors that can help people orient to the whole project faster and better.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so where would you like to start?